Hey guys, Sam Stein, managing editor at the Bulwark. I'm joined by Ben Parker, senior editor here at the Bulwark. We are here to talk about a awkward exchange, maybe one of the more awkward ones I've seen in Trump 2.0, between President Trump and Fed Chairman Jerome Powell. We'll get into it, but you guys should subscribe to our feed because we break this stuff down for you so you don't have to watch it in real time.
You're welcome,
Ben,
by the way.
you're welcome. We don't like doing, well, actually kind of like doing this. So basically for weeks now, Donald Trump's been trying to, what I think is just kind of pressure or make Jerome Powell's life so miserable that Jerome Powell quits. But then there's been this other storyline that they're maybe trying to find a pretense to fire Jerome Powell because you can only fire the Fed chair for cause. And so they've kind of glossed onto this issue of, is the Fed renovation, they're renovating their headquarters, is it like dramatically over cost? And it's been dramatized and it's kind of crested to this moment where Trump, in a very dramatic showing, has gone down to the Fed along with Tim Scott and I guess some other officials. I didn't see many other officials, but apparently they were there to talk to the people there about what's going on with the construction project. And Jerome Powell decided to show up today to go through it with him. And they're walking with hard hats. And then this happened.
So we're taking a look, and it looks like it's about 3.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
It just came out.
Our notes had it about 3.1 as well.
3.1.
3.2.
This came from us?
Yes. I don't know who does that.
Now, you're including the Martin renovation. You just added
Our entire capital.
Yeah, you just added in a third building is what that is. That's a third building.
Well, no, but it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built 5 years ago. We finished Martin 5 years ago.
It's part of the overall work.
But it's
So,
not new.
I thought that was like kind of delicious. I've never seen I've seen people dispute him in real time, but it doesn't happen that often.
Yeah, and that's because usually Trump doesn't spend that much time around people who are in a position independently to tell him he's wrong. And for good reason, the Fed chairman is one of those people. That's kind of the whole issue, Sam, is that the Fed chairman is supposed to be independent of the president.
Right. It's
And
like
so
when it's like a head of state
bullshit.
would do this. A head of state would do this, be like, no, you got your budget wrong. We actually do spend this on defense. Jerome Powell would do it. But I just thought the way Jerome Powell did it was like, actually, you added a building there. It was like, it was pretty quick on his
it's still
feet.
a building they're building. No, it's 5
It
years
was
old.
5 years old. And Trump just keeps rolling with, well, that counts in the cost. It's like, I didn't know what the statute of limitations are when you're budgeting this stuff. Are you with me that this is all sort of like designed to make Powell just say, you know what, fuck this shit. I'm done. I don't want to deal with this.
It's either that or it's as you said, creating a pretext so Trump can fire him, not because he refuses to lower interest rates as Trump wants, but because supposedly there's waste, fraud, and abuse, whatever. But good for Jerome Powell for sticking it out and not doing the Chris Wray thing where he preemptively lays down and surrenders. Yeah, make it as hard for Trump as possible, right? Like if Trump needs to spend weeks on this, setting up his whole fake justifications and tweeting about it and whatever, make him spend weeks on it. Good for Jerome Powell. Amen.
Yeah. I mean, he's got 8 months left. He's not going to, he's got 8 months as the chair. He's still on the board. You can hold on for 8 months. Where were you when the fake Jerome Powell resignation letter surfaced?
Oh man. I
will never forget where I was.
Where were you? Where were you? Where was
I was here.
Okay, yeah, that's why. So I think by the time I saw it, someone had already pointed out, I think it was Jim in our chat, was like, oh, cool seal they got there.
The seal was
and it's not the Fed seal, and it's got the classic AI, fake letters that don't
it made no sense. The wording was completely wrong. All right, so Trump, they went into this whole, they did a tour after that little gaggle, and I'd say maybe 15 to 20 minutes later, Trump comes back out with Senator Tim Scott, who chairs the banking committee, and they're briefing the press. And I thought it was just so funny for a couple of reasons. One was Trump, you could take the guy out of real estate, but he clearly just loves this shit. And he was going on, he's like, there's he called it a very luxurious situation the renovation project. He had real criticisms for the basement. He said basements are too expensive. You got to deal with the water flow down there. He called the underground parking lot. He was very critical of the underground parking lot, said they shouldn't have done that as well. He thought that the plywood, he was not very impressed with the plywood, thought they spent too much to like support or create security with the plywood. And he said he would have gone a little bit cheaper with that. He was going down to like the basics. Yeah, I'm sure he would. Yes, he would cut corners here and there. So yeah, he had some thoughts about the aesthetics of the Fed building.
Just wait till Trump finds out they're actually paying the contractors. He's going to be so mad.
He said he did say he was talking about the hotel he had put up in the old post office building in DC. He's like, we did that for $200 million. I gotta fact check that one. First of all, I don't think he did it. I just think he put his name on it. He said he built
it. That building way predates. I think Trump.
Yeah, no, but they renovated it. They renovated it. He said we built, got it down to its studs. We put it back together. I don't think that's true, but it was there for a while. And I'm not sure that it was the Trump organization that did it. I think he just licensed his name, but we'll have to fact check that one. The other thing that was kind of hilarious to me was Tim Scott. Tim Scott at one point,
or as Trump called him, this guy over here, whose name I obviously can't remember.
Did he do
that? To the right here. Yes.
I totally missed that.
Very good friend standing right here. This guy.
Tim Scott, I want to play the video because he got a little incredulous, and Tim Scott's a mile manner guy, about the fact that they were even talking about cost overruns.
Bottom line is we had an honest, candid conversation about some of the overruns at this building. We had it in my banking committee, and he said we were wrong, and it turns out we were right. Thank God President Trump and his team took enough time to dig into some of the details, and the details are clear. We need to get this project done. We would like to keep it where it is or a little lower, but at the end of the day, the point is that instead of talking about interest rates, instead of talking about first-time home buyers, instead of talking about the heat in our economy, that's a good thing. We're talking about an overrun on the Federal Reserve building as opposed to the Federal Reserve objective of lowering and keeping our economy full.
It's like the only reason you're talking. He's like, the reason you're talking about it is because Trump keeps bringing it up. No one else was talking about this 2 weeks ago.
And the reason they're talking about it is because Trump wants to create this false justification for firing the Fed chair. So Tim Scott's going, thank God Donald Trump drew our attention to these cost overruns. But why are we talking about cost overruns?
It did make me realize, I mean, not that it's a new observation, but just how much of this is just theater. It's like all theater, like going down there is theater, putting on the hard hat, just the whole, like, I'm going to show you this, $5 trillion or whatever, $500 million edition that you've done. Like all of it is just theater. And that's it. It's acting.
Yeah. So was the, in that clip we showed of Trump and Powell, the pulling the paper out of the pocket.
Yeah. That's what paper is.
Some White House staffer typed up, it costs too much money on a piece of paper. And that's what he handed to Powell, like for all we know. And, it's, as long as we're not talking about Jeffrey Epstein, it's working, right?
I guess. But here you just mentioned Jeffrey Epstein. So maybe it's not working. All right, man. I appreciate this. That was a fun little afternoon exercise from Trump. We'll see what happens. He said at the end, I don't want to put it in that category when he's asked if this was a fireable offense for Powell. I don't think he's going to go through with it, but I do think he wants Powell to quit, and we'll see if Powell does it. Doesn't look like Powell's up for it though. So we'll see. Any last thoughts before we sign off?
Yeah. Last thing is just that with all this pressure he's putting on Powell, you pointed out that Powell only has a few months left in his term. I mean, Trump did originally nominate him, so Trump should know how long he's got left. This does mean, I guess, that whoever the next person is inherits all of this pressure automatically, right? So even if it doesn't work on Powell, it sort of automatically applies to whoever the next person is. And that's a little scarier.
Well, you presume that he'll pick someone who will pre-commit to lowering interest rates, right? Like that's what he wants. He thinks it has to happen. He's not going to nominate someone where it's a question mark, but we'll see. They have to get confirmed by the Senate too. All right, Ben Parker, thanks, man. Appreciate you joining me. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you doing that. And I appreciate when you subscribe to this feed. Subscribe, share. The algorithm is king. We need your help with that. And we will talk to you later.